This is the Rachel and Kristen show. It doesn't have a title. We're just going to talk about random shit and be cool. And you guys are going to listen to us. We're going to make millions of dollars.
I feel like I had some ideas for names. And then I forgot them all.
Cool. Maybe we should ask our listeners, our thousands and millions of listeners that we're going to have when we launch this podcast to help us with a name.
I think that's a great idea.
All right. Welcome
to Two Mystic Mamas.
Welcome to Two Mystic Mamas. Two Mystic Mamas. Two Mystic Mamas. Two Mystic Mamas. Where we talk about all things and we don't know where the universe is going to take us.
We really don't.
But I have asked some of my best friends, like, did you hear the last podcast episode? And they're like, no. And I'm like, what?
No, we're not doing this for them.
No, I know. But like, I'm like, where's the support? God, when you launch a podcast, I'm not going to listen to it either.
I will.
No, not you. I meant like if they.
I know. I'll still listen to their podcast. I'm throwing you effectively under the bus. I will listen to your fucking podcast.
There you go. You can pick Kristen. Kristen can be your best friend.
How much fun do you think our editor is going to have editing out Stevie's snoring?
Probably not much fun at all. It's not going anywhere as long as she's in the room. And trying to get her out is moving.
She's like a boulder.
A potato. Very big 50-pound potato.
I can move a potato very easily. I don't know how
I can just pick it up and move it. That's a terrible, I know. I have lots of animal stories. What are we talking about today?
We're supposed to be talking about energetic housekeeping.
Well, okay, so this is energetic housekeeping on some level, right? Like surround yourself with wildlife and other types of life, plants, flowers is really important.
This is a stretch, but go on.
I need to do more of the moving of the body. And again, not for like weight loss or any of that. It's just the moving of our bodies. Our bodies are meant to be bodies in motion. We are meant to be beautiful, flowing, all the things, not stationary, sitting at our desks for 9, 10, 12 hours a day. That's not how we were designed to be. So it's just like, yeah, it has nothing to do with really exercising, more just like moving your body, getting the blood flowing. And
right, we talked about how everything is energy.
Yeah.
You know, and energy is not meant to be stagnant either.
No, God. Ew, stagnant. Like when you find something in your kid's room and you're like, how long has this been in here?
Right.
And then they drink it and you're like, no. That's really just the baby that does that shit. But like
my husband still does that shit.
No.
A lot of the things that are happening in your life right now are really good reminders to take a step back and look at how we are doing things from a foundational perspective, right? When you saw the TV come crashing off the wall and you're like, this is a sign, I know that we don't need to have this TV in our room. That's a foundational piece of how you are starting your day. All of this energy that's happening right now is a really great time for us to evaluate how we can fix the cracks in our own foundations.
Yeah, for sure.
I do think that there's value in continually, weekly, daily, monthly, reaffirming what your own
for sure
values are, what your pillars are, pillars, what your pillars of belief are, and what your purpose. And when you know that, okay, my purpose is my family and my community and service, which I know are a lot of the big points for you, it's a lot easier for you to move out of that space of being triggered in a, situation, whatever it is, and moving back into, okay, how do we realign?
Yep.
Right? We just readjust the sails. That's all.
Yep.
And we move forward from here.
Yep.
If you say, I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes and I'm just going to get still and I'm just going to try and listen to what comes to me. And that would lead in to another big thing, which I think works for me. I have another friend that I know that this works for as well, which is automatic writing.
That's such a cool exercise. Yeah.
It really, do you want to talk about it?
No, I want you to talk about it.
Okay.
I've only done it a couple times.
Okay. So basically, get a journal, get a pen, and whatever comes into your mind, it doesn't matter if it feels like gibberish, if you don't even understand what you're writing.
Correct.
Just write it.
Yep.
Anything, any thought, any word, any color, any animal, anything that pops in your head, write it.
Yep.
A lot of times our intuition comes in the form of those little fleeting thoughts that we don't pay attention to.
Yes.
So just write them down.
Yeah. Yeah. I always think too with mantras, it's do them in a cadence, whatever that cadence is. Mine is 3,
Okay.
but you can do,
I do the same thing.
And if you can, say them out loud because your voice carries a frequency. If you can't, you can still say them in your head and that's
or
still
write them down.
Valuable, or write them. But if you can say them out loud, your voice carries frequency, which is really important.
One that I use is I listen to my intuition and I trust my inner guide because that's really what it is. It's our inner guide.
Yep.
That we get so wrapped up in what we should be doing in this life that we forget to listen to that inner guide.
For sure. And we question everything. So it's kind of taking the questioning out of it and just like a mantra is kind of like a march, right? Like it's like it has its own rhythm and it has its own special gift.
So if you feel like you are constantly dragging yourself uphill or you're pushing away opportunities or people or jobs, it might be a sign that you're just not listening to your intuition.
Yep.
If things seem way harder than they need to be, then there's a good chance that there's some messages out there that you need to just the first step is opening yourself to receive them.
Yep.
I believe the first time I heard this story was someone was actually talking about bamboo plant and how from like seed to when it actually pushes through the earth is 5 years it takes of nurturing and consistency. And all of that happens out of the view of sunlight.
In the darkness.
Just trying to find its way to the surface.
Right.
And then when it does, we know that it grows super quickly. And I mean, it can, in the wrong area, it can be super invasive, right? But metaphorically speaking, it is taking all of this time to nurture that seed.
Right.
Before you even begin to see the results.
Totally.
Of that.
Right.
And that is such a beautiful reminder for us in our life that even though we're not seeing the results, we have to believe and stay the course in our dreams, our goals, the universe.
In ourselves.
Right? We are divinely meant to be in our highest place.
I don't really enjoy being pranked. I don't think I've really been pranked. So I don't know. Maybe I would. Good conversation, Rachel.
Scarcelleo, do you even need me for this conversation?
Talking to myself. But yeah. I texted myself an additional goal, which was we record the podcast in exotic places. And then I was like, oh, it would be a really great place that has lots of amazing energy is Tulum, Mexico. And she was like, oh, yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's where the polar vortex is.
I wish I could have captured my face in this moment because I was like, no, it's not, Rach.
And I was like, yeah, no, it's the polar vortex. And I was like, and she's like, I was like, well, why not? And she's like, I'm pretty sure a polar vortex is like a massive snowstorm in the Arctic. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's probably right. Oh. Anyways, and then I was like, no. What about Sedona? Maybe Sedona, Arizona has the polar vortex.
So just so you guys know, the polar vortices only exist in Tulum and Sedona.
Yeah.
In Rachel's world.
Honestly, we would go to Tulum and get a polar vortex. It would be...
And then you doubled down because I was like, oh, do you mean the ley lines? And you were like, no, yes, there's ley lines, but no, it's the polar vortex.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the polar vortex.
Yeah.
Let's just go get malaria.
All right, mosquitoes, listen up. Just come suck our blood, give us malaria, and let us know what we're doing for our future. Please don't. I said that out loud, and I was like, that was
God, why would you put that in the universe?
Was dumb. I was trying to be funny.
Some sort of sexy vampire mosquito that looks like Troy Polamalu.
Somebody needs to draw that. That would be so good. Oh, shit. A sexy vampire Troy Polamalu mosquito.
Would you get down with that?
I mean, I'd probably fucking end up killing it. No, he needs to be bigger. Needs to be something, a whistle pig.
What?
A Troy Polamalu whistle pig.
You'd fuck a groundhog?
No, I wouldn't fuck a groundhog. This is just taking a very strange and bizarre twist.
I was looking up a note that I had saved from one of my clients who was talking about supplements that helped her through the great change of life. And apparently this was in February. And I don't know if you and I recorded the same day as this, but at the end of this note, it says, in quotations, Einstein did a lot of things with many things until he got to the light bulb. Insightful moments with Rachel DeVore.
Einstein didn't even fucking create the light bulb.
I know.
Jesus
you said
Christ.
You said it, and I recorded it.
Cheese and rice. Another great Rachelism. Listen, you do not want me on your Trivial Pursuit team. Maybe on your pub quiz team, because I will pull out some crazy rando fact, but 9 times out of 10, oh my God, last week we went to a restaurant and they were having quiz night, and it was like, what is the Russian capital? And I walked by this table and I was like, St. Petersburg. It fucking wasn't. It was Moscow. And they wrote down St. Petersburg and they got it wrong. And I just ignored them I did not say that.
Were they waiting for you outside at the end of the night? Man, the confidence though you had to just like cruise by and drop that little bit of knowledge.
That's what Jeff will call me on it all the time. Because in the beginning he was like, okay. And then finally he was like, is it? And I'm like, I don't know. I just fucking said that. I have no idea. He's like, well, what? You just said it like you knew. And I was like, I know. That's a gift.
Maybe take some of the stuff she says on this podcast with a grain of salt, friends. Grain of salt, friends.
Just a grain of salts.
If you're out there and you're a mom or you're not a mom and you want to start a business or you want to do something different with your life, you are capable of doing it.
Yep.
You will make the time for what is truly meant for you. You will find a way. And if you don't find a way, but your intention and your heart is there, the universe is going to find a way to fucking bring it to you. And that may come in the form of a very hard lesson.
Yes.
Or the ending of something that you're just not quite ready to end.
Yep. My angels just sent me a message.
Oh, what did they say?
It says your direction matters more than your speed.
Oh, fuck yes. I mean, that's probably also something with somebody with a small penis would say, but I appreciate the message.
Or like a really long, narrow one on a pickleball court.
Pickles on pickles, girl.
Pickles on a ping pong court.
Sorry, not sorry, chef.
I can't tell you how many people I have done readings for in the past 3 weeks where they've been like, that's so cool that you're gifted. And I immediately respond with, you're gifted too. Everybody comes gifted. Everybody has the ability to be a light worker if they take the time and the energy to activate it, to raise that vibration, to put it out there that being a light worker is just, it's being something bigger than yourself. It's utilizing energy outside of yourself. It's that universal energy that exists for all of us, that universal love.
Yeah.
And we all have the ability to give people light, give ourselves light, and move in a way that creates amazing, wonderful things to happen around us as a collective or individually too. And, so anybody that says, oh, right. I'm not intuitive. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
100% you are. And I think that if you are willing to be still enough to listen to the truth, then you're going to hear those messages. Mm-hmm. If we're constantly running from the truth of our life, it's going to be really hard to tune into our gifts.
Yes.
Right? But if we're willing or still enough to just listen, they're all around us all the time.
So when we were at my parents' house, Tom was, well, Tom, what?
I like how you tried to not say his name and you're like, well, you know, Tom. Let me say something that's not his name. Okay, so Tom.
You know what? We can leave it in. I know I have his permission.
Welcome to Mystic Minis. Bow, 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 bow. Sorry, guys, we had to do that quiet because it broke.
You sound just like your mom.
Okay.
First thing is, we're going to be doing What's It Like to Be 11? Emmeline.
I feel mature. I feel very mature. So 11 is very mature. It's definitely different than being like 8 or 9, you know? Can you think of any examples where you've been especially intuitive or visionary? Fun facts about, intuitive or visionary. Sorry.
I just had a moment this weekend, actually. It's kind of like a stupid moment, but like, there was like, we got this box of Cheez-Its, and on the side, it had it was like the summer fun giant box of Cheez-Its with the little tiny bags of Cheez-Its. On the side of it, it was like the pool noodle, like try and find the Cheez-It.
Yeah,
like find the exit. Yeah, and my intuition was the one on the right. First thing, and then I made sure that it was the one on the right, and it was.
One thing that you can control is your routine.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggled for years with the idea of routine because I thought it was boring. And I'm not a boring person.
No.
So I struggled with that.
Sure.
Until I realized that like so much of what I do is steeped in ritual.
Which is a routine.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
And so the very first thing I did was change the vocabulary to ritual.
Yes.
And I was like, this is my morning ritual.
I think that's beautiful.
And then all of a sudden, the self-discipline came from that just because it was a word that wasn't triggering to me. Now routine doesn't bother me. I see it as a good thing.
Yeah. And I think too, it's so funny how like feelings are associated with words too, because that feeling of boring is so associated with the word routine. Mm-hmm. Where ritual, it's like, ooh, that sounds like magic is involved. And tell me more. Again, I always stress this. Make sure you get ethically sourced essential oils. Do not buy them willy-nilly, because most of them in the United States specifically are not regulated. Therefore, there's a bunch of filler in them and they will not be beneficial. So it's like anything else. Just buy really good quality product and you will feel the benefits. If you buy shit, cheap crap, you will not feel the benefits and potentially will have negative side effects.
You will feel like shit, cheap crap.
Yeah, exactly. If you buy shit, cheap crap, you will feel like shit, cheap crap. There you go.
Can you say that 3 times fast?
Shit, cheap crap. Shit, cheap crap. Shiver, shiver.
But if we were going to suggest that our listeners make a cleansing spray with like, you can dilute oils in water.
Yeah, you can do witch hazel, or you can also do vodka.
Do not send your kids to school with a spray bottle of vodka.
Okay, first of all, you got to mix it with all of the oils.
Don't listen to Rachel. Do not send your kids to school with vodka.
It's fine, because it won't smell like vodka, because it'll have all the essential oils. But vodka is...
Until they bring in a vodka sniffing dog, and then all of a sudden Emmeline's getting arrested.
You're making shit up.
You and I are both people of service.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sharing our gifts and sharing what we go through is really important.
Yep.
Because we've talked about this before. There's a lot of people that will just deem you as fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, and And I was going to say on that same line is to get curious. We've said this before, but if you have this like desire or urge to learn more about why you are wired the way you are, then get curious about it and look into when you were born, look into these different, like just Google what is an empath. You will get these steps that basically highlight like different things that would characterize you as an empath, and just start and figure it out and question everything. Like, just get curious about it, because a lot of times too with empaths, our belief systems that we have been raised with we tend to find them more triggering than we do. Like, we just don't tend to accept things just to accept things. We question things a lot because we just want to know like why things are the way they are. You know, I do think that everything we need to heal our mind, bodies, and souls is provided on this earth in some way, shape, or form.
And I think most of it is provided by Rachel's very strong ginger turmeric shots that she makes.
Also true.
Highly recommend them.
Once again, from this earth.
Ginger's also good for manifesting. So if you need to add a little fiery spirit into whatever you're manifesting in your life, I would recommend a simmer pot with some ginger in it, or add it to your cooking.
Empaths need alone time.
Yep.
That's where we recharge.
Yes.
So that recharging can look different for different people. So Kristen really enjoys personal development and reading and figuring out, you know, information that's going to nourish her mind, body, and soul, which I get down with a lot too. I find a lot of solace in doing meditations and rebalancing my chakras and finding a place to just ground myself. And I always, well, I know we both do this. We start and end our days with gratitude.
Change represents something that we are not comfortable with in that moment.
Letting go of control.
Well, it's uncertainty,
right?
You know, there comes a time when you have to just let go and trust the process.
We should pause there, because there's plenty of listeners that are going to immediately say, how the fuck do I do that?
Yeah.
How do I let go?
I think the number one thing that you have to do in order to let go is trust yourself. You have to be able to trust yourself, and also trust that you are going to be supported in the future as much, if not more, than you are supported right now by the universe.
Oh, look, there's Charles.
Charlie's making an appearance.
Yes, we should bring him in.
Hello.
We're filming your butt. We're talking about embracing change. Wow.
I also enjoy embracing change. Well, I thought it was interesting when you asked my take on it earlier. I went right to other people making changes.
Hey, you guys know who died?
Huh?
My dad, he told me today. My dad did not die. Do you know who died?
Did you just gonna fucking pass this one casually?
Thank God.
Phil Donahue.
Oh,
I'm glad the Master Chef is still here. Master Chef.
He's a certified executive, not a master.
He's a master in my mind.
Okay. Why are you whispering?
Now I sound so loud. Then I sound weird.
No, I don't know why you're whispering. What is happening?
I feel like I don't want to talk too loud.
Just speak normally.
Yeah,
We'll adjust you in post.
Yeah.
Give me the fucking headphones so you can't hear yourself.
You and Jeffrey, your podcast episode will be you just making.
What, Jeff's gonna yell and he's gonna whisper and this is what they're gonna do? And Jeff's gonna be like, why are you talking, man?
I don't know, buddy. Why are you yelling at me?
I think that a lot of times, if people get stuck in cycles that are no longer serving them, there is a process that needs to take place where you just kind of analyze how you got there and why you're there. And I go back to me leaving my job. I knew that if I didn't make that change, it was going to be made for me, which I knew that because I had it happen to me before.
Right.
And I did not heed the signs from the universe.
Right.
And again, people, there are signs from the universe, from your angels, from your spirit guides every single fucking day. They give them to you every single day. And if you're not listening to them, they'll make them louder.
And louder and louder.
Sometimes I am super calm and collected about things, and I'm able to process in the moment, and I'm able to find empathy, and I'm able to see that other side. And then there's other times where
my friends. Today is another time.
That just does not happen. And I'm not gonna say what the name of the company is, but everybody who owns a company, I don't care what size it is, if you have shitty customer service, it will always be an issue with most of your customers. Always. So this particular company, and it's, one of these newer companies that only communicates via email. Like there's no phone number. You can't actually meet with a real human. Which I feel like, at the end of the day, that's what we are. We're fucking human, and we need to figure stuff out sometimes face to face.
Do you want to know why they do that, Rachel?
Because they don't want to be raged at.
They don't want to be in contact with Rachel.
Rachel.
We shall call her Rachel today.
The other thing is, though, I'm not without reasoning behind my rage.
Right, 100%.
And I'm not ragey. Like, I'm not, violent, but I am, I'm angry.
I'm like,
I did say
redact.
in an email, what in the actual fuck happened?
I walked in today and she was like, you are my partner, and I need to tell you something that you might not be happy with.
I know. I instantly was like, I might need your forgiveness.
So, no. She shows me her phone, and it's an article about how the Kelsey brothers signed a $100 million podcast deal with Amazon.
$100 million.
And then she gives me the look like, why isn't this us? And you didn't even have to say it. You just gave me the look, and I went, Rachel, we're not football players, and one of us isn't diddling Taylor Swift.
Which I then promptly responded, we could be. Which then we both burst into fits of giggles and laughter, because the day that I'm on an NFL football field getting hit is, you might as well just plan the funeral at that point.
I think the reminder for me, though, if we're going to stay in the vein of what this episode is about, and that is divine downloads and receiving messages, then for me, I received the message that, listen, our time will come, and the right opportunity will come for us, because guess what? An opportunity that is right for two NFL players is not right for us.
Truer words have never been spoken. And as much as I want to, get to know Taylor Swift and be her friend, I'd, You
don't want to diddle her?
No. No. With signs, we move so quickly in life that we're given signs and we just breeze right past them.
Well, we're conduits for messages in so many ways. And when we are stuck in our heads or in ego or in fear or in overwhelm or any of these
lower frequencies,
iterations of this.
Yeah.
It's so easy to miss the signs because we're so hyper-focused on our pain.
Totally.
Or getting through our pain or the destination or the goal. And so we're missing the journey and all the messages that are happening right here and right now in real time for us.
Is your microphone a dude? We should have names for our microphones. Oh my God.
Oh, this is fucking bullshit. Okay, I can't believe us.
Let's go.
Okay, you can't just,
God, you know what? We should name them
think about
Travis and Jason.
I just hit myself in the stomach.
And so it is.
God damn it.
These are the Kelsey brothers.
Sorry, Travis. I just had to adjust your windscreen.
Oh, so you have Travis.
I don't know. You pointed at mine and said Travis.
You're definitely diddling then. Got a whole little throuple happening.
God damn it. So Charlie and I played this game yesterday where it was like, if you could spend a day with a celebrity or anybody in the world, who would your top 3 be?
I love these games.
So he was going through his, and his first one is obviously Jack Black.
Love me some Jack Black.
And number 2 was Bert
Kreischer.
Mm-hmm.
Are they all comedians?
Kind of.
Or creatives, I guess?
Yeah. Well, this spurred, who was his third? He was going back and forth on if it was Rogan or who else was it? It was somebody else.
They didn't throw a vagina in there?
Nope, no vagina. So it spurred the conversation that he then had a dream that I was doing a podcast with Leanne. Like we were just talking and having a podcast. Bert's wife, sorry.
Oh, I was like, who's Leanne?
And
Are you replacing me?
no.
I don't even know this bitch. Okay.
This is amazing.
Okay. Well, you know the repeat dream that I've had. I haven't had it for...
Is this Mark Cubano again?
No. That came through...
Wait, is it Cuban?
It's just Cuban. I don't know why you called him Cubano.
Cubano.
Mark Cubano, man. You know what's
man.
wild about that? So that was a download I got during meditation where it was like, you need to somehow connect with Mark Cuban. He is going to help you. And I was
you
like...
received the wrong transmission,
I was like,
Rachel.
Mark Cuban?
You need to connect with Mark Cubano.
Cubano. So you know what's crazy? Ask your phone, how do I get in touch with Mark Cuban?
Okay. Hey, Siri, how do I get in touch with Mark Cuban? She's not going to answer because I said the wrong name.
I don't know if that's really his number or not, but it was like...
That's the phone number to the Dallas Mavericks.
Can you imagine calling that and just saying, can I
Excuse
please talk?
me, I'd like to talk to Mark Cubano.
So Mark...
I received a message from my angels and I'm going to need to talk to him immediately.
Yes.
I think when we are really trying to decipher what those boundaries look like for us and what's important to us is you have to look at what do you want to protect and preserve
Yes.
that in your life and how does setting boundaries support that, right? So for me, I know that protecting my peace is huge.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big boundary that I have with anything, right? It can be people, it can be choices, but protecting my peace.
Yeah, PMP.
Yeah, PMP. Yeah, you know me.
Yep.
For people that are in my life that call me and they're like, this is going on. And I feel like this happens to me a lot, right? I've started using the phrase, do you need support right now or are you looking for a solution?
Mm-hmm.
I had seen a friend of mine about a month ago and she kind of was just spilling all about all the things that were going on and venting. I said that and she was like, wow, I really appreciate you asking me that.
Totally. Because think about it. If you're in a mental state where you really just need to vent and get it out of your body into the universe and get it just out of your physical self, it feels so good when someone just validates that and and is there and is like, I'm so sorry you're walking through this and you're going through this. This is really tough. Instead of just diverting into, well, do you know what you're doing wrong? Or you know, not do you know what you're doing
not
wrong?
Even
but like
necessarily that, but just offering your 2 cents when
they're not going to be in a place to hear it and absorb it, right?
And what does enough look like? What does enough feel like? And that's the mean, the median, the average. And for each person to really feel into what is enough for them, what is enough personal development, what is enough, tending to the beauty of the home, what is enough in terms of parenting, and what tends to get deprioritized. Often it's the self, not always, often it's that white space that we were talking about earlier of, okay, what needs to come off the plate and what wants to be fulfilled, what wants to be tended to. What I've experienced is people waiting for the systems to change, waiting for the institutions to change. And it's a huge risk to opt out of all of that, to say, hey, I'm going to push back. I'm going to have work-life balance. I'm not going to want to be SVP. I'm cool with the level that I'm at. And there's a lot of pushback on that.
Well, I mean, I think too, and I just can speak from like a recent personal experience that this was not me, but people assume that if you are just working your 9 to 5, that you're not doing enough if you're clocking out at 5. And so this behavior is happening on a corporate level. And then the parents are passing this along to their kids. And it's really hard for people to see the cycle, let alone change the cycle.
We are here on the trail and it's a magical trail. I will just put it out there. It is So many birds are around us. There was. He better not come back. I think I threatened his life, and he heard it.
You really got sassy.
I mean, I was going to kill this guy. We are talking about a giant
You
ass
murdering something is nothing new.
airplane hornet. Well, let's just preface it. Let's stick to insects and rodents. Okay? I don't murder people yet. All right. So, what else is on the agenda for today if we do not get any trail walkers?
We have no agenda for today, Rachel.
I would like to talk about dreams.
No. I don't want to talk about dreams. Oh, man. They've been wild.
Just your dreams. No, dreams specifically when your significant other cheats on you. How does that?
Right. This is the first time that's ever happened. I've ever had one. I've always seen the funny reels that people do.
Mm-hmm.
It was like when she wakes up mad because she dreamt that you cheated, cheated on her.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely a feeling attached with it.
Oh, yeah. You wake up and...
I wasn't mad, but I certainly wasn't my normal.
Oh, don't lie.
Good morning. Oh, I'm certainly not lying. I did. He woke up and I was like, we both were still like half asleep. And this is the space, I don't know if anybody else is like this, where I have to be in that like half asleep space to retell/recount my dream.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
And so I don't even think I had an eye open, if I'm honest. I just was like, hey, you know what you did last night?
Always a good way to wake up.
He's like, no, but
Like-
you're going to tell me.
It's like immediate, like, what?
So I had 2 dreams in succession. And the first one was that Charlie was trying to improve a bad relationship that he was having with this other
woman?
coworker that I named her in my dream. He certainly
me.
doesn't have anybody named this that he works with, but that Christy in
Christy.
in Dreamland, she's a real bitch trying to steal my husband.
Did you see her in the dream? Or how did you know?
It was like she didn't really have a face, but she had a form, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But she had a name, and he felt that doing this was going to improve their working relationship.
What is this something you speak of, Kristen?
Getting a blowjob from
Can't you see men in general just being like, no, you don't understand.
Wait,
This is going to improve our working relationship. There is a lot of history, now that you brought up that quote, within Buddhism too, that, again, when you recognize...
Did you just say Buddhism?
I did.
I love it.
I didn't want you to say anything.
I'm so sorry, but Buddhism? I can't let that go. Buddhism. Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
I know, that's Rachel's take on it.
I'm sorry, I love
But
you
I
so
don't even know
much.
what it would be. What is it?
Buddhism.
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 I think Buddhism is...
Do you think Mark Cubano practices Buddhism? Life is this big ride, and we know that I'm an ocean girly. And when I related life to the waves, and I was like, I can't stop the waves from coming, but I can learn how to surf. I can
just
learn
read
how
that,
to
yes.
ride them. And I
Right.
can learn how to navigate through difficult scenarios, situations, emotions, all of that.
And there's different size waves.
Exactly.
There's different aggressiveness of
Right.
there's so many life situations. That's such a beautiful visualization that you can associate to life. You can associate
Right.
it to the ocean. Some days the oceans are super calm.
I am really trying to embrace the fact that there are habits, routines, behaviors, energies that I need to release right now in this specific season of life in order to move forward to where I know I'm headed.
Okay.
So I know I cannot get there without releasing some of the shit
Yes.
and where I'm putting my energy right now. So
Well-
I've been like very intentional the last couple of weeks about like, okay, what are my thoughts and where are these thoughts leading?
Yes.
And is that aligned with my goals?
Yes.
And is that aligned with my purpose?
Yeah. And that takes some sitting down and just focusing on all of those aspects and connecting them.
But I think the important part of that, though, is the consistency. I think the reason I've been able to get to this point of realizing I need to do this and then pinpointing what it is because every single morning I take that time for myself
Mm-hmm.
to write and to journal and to think.
It's like so funny when I tell people this. They're like, what do you do for work? I'm like, and I never know how to really explain it. I'm like, I talk about Pennsylvania and I just get the same look every time. Like, why?
Yes. I think titles are hard especially when you go out on your own and because you've essentially created your own dream. Like you've put something into the world that didn't exist before. And so, you know,
it's pretty wild.
Yeah,
you guys are doing that too, you know?
Yeah, being a creator is a wild world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you know what? It's crazy because we're all creators. I feel like if we channeled more of that energy, we would create a life that we want to live and lead.
Mm-hmm.
But people are so crippled by fear.
Yeah, the belief that you have to fall in line and follow conformity and do what other people tell you to do, it becomes a safety net.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like security. And I'm putting that in air quotes, but
Right.
it is. It's like a faux security.
Isn't it amazing how one moment in time can literally change the course of your life?
Completely.
I mean, it is amazing. And those stories, when you hear someone tell their story of how it came to be, it does. It gives you goosebumps. It sends a shiver down your spine because when you listen to your intuition, it's never steering you wrong.
Never.
It can be challenging and it can be hard as hell. And there can be things where you're like, I just want to quit. But again, then you get that support. Then you get that love from the other side.
Right.
That continues to lift you up.
Well, I think it's much harder to follow the guidance that you're receiving than it is to even hear the guidance.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, completely.
Especially when you're in a relationship or a partnership and you have somebody that's like, what the fuck are you actually doing? Like, your feelings don't pay the bills, Rachel. Which may be a quote from my husband.
May or may not. This may or may not be an accurate statement.
I just know I have to do this. No, you don't. You can just keep your job with your paycheck, Rachel. I can't. We don't need money. Money is a made up thing, Jeff. It's not.
Conditioning happens because you accumulate it throughout your life.
Right.
Through your upbringing, through your society, through the norms. Like we were joking, come on, woman, make me a sandwich. That's another conditioning, right? Creating those personas of how people should be and how people should behave. Sometimes those accumulate so much that we create a wall around our inner light and does not let us see the true path ahead of us to growth. So through the healing, specifically energy healing, what we do is like break those paradigms for you to be able to see, even if it is a glimpse of a moment, a couple of hours, a couple of days, etc., the true path before you allow everything to come back. Or like Rachel did, just, no, I see it, I love it, I'm going to jump into it and head on. Yeah. So yes, through the healing journey, you not only heal your own perceptions, you're also healing kind of the path and the different consciousness that you occupy to be able to move forward.
What's your favorite Christmas song? Do you have a favorite Christmas song?
God, it's not the one with Mary's boy toy, Jesus Christ, because I can't.
Come again?
It's the Mary's boy child, but I always sing Mary's boy toy in my head, even though I know that's probably like terrible. I know it is, whatever. But I'm not Christian. I don't give.
Well, let me tell you, those Catholics, they can come up with some really good takes on holy songs.
Right.
Hark the herald angels sing.
Oh my God, you guys, we're going to get a performance today.
Yeah.
This is 2 now.
So this is the version that my aunt taught me when I was probably Emily's age, 11 or 12. Mind you, I was in Catholic school, going to church all the time. Do you know the song, Hark the Herald Angels Sing?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is
I
hark
didn't grow up
the
under a rock
herald
completely. Rachel.
angels. Okay, ready? Hark the herald angels shout. 3 more days till we get out. 3 more days till we
In
are
prison?
free from this penitentiary. Back to sex and back to drinking. Back to wait. Hark the herald angels shout. 3 more days till we get out. 3 more days till we are free from this penitentiary. Back to smoking, back to drinking, back to sex and evil thinking. Hark the herald angels shout. 3 more days till we get out. Good old Catholic school right there.
Holy shit. I was not prepared for this, you guys.
Yep. And there's other ones too.
I think that the full moon is a promise of new life, new chapters, new beginnings, very similarly to how we look at the new year, very similar to how we look at spring, right? There's so many opportunities for us to reinvent how we're existing in the life that we have. The thing that happens is when we are inviting peace and joy and devotion to our priorities into our life through grounding practices, through affirmation, whatever it is that works for you, we actually are then opening ourselves up to receive messages from higher sources and from our spirit guides. So as soon as we lean into that, it opens up so much.
Yes. You know what we didn't do?
What? Welcome to
Two Mystic Mamas.
It's the
See you
end.
next time.
Yeah.